to talk to a gentleman about some business, and then we're going on to Spring Green, Wisconsin tonight. Beautiful day, it's in the 70s. This is the last covered bridge in Wisconsin that Anita is walking through, built by the town of Cedarburg. Petition of neighboring farmers to replace periodically washed out bridges. I'll be silent now and just film this so we can read it. Anita, when was this bridge first built?
What is this, a test?
1876 and retired in 1962. It's a beautiful little park here.
See the little bridge over there?
Little footbridge over the river. I hope this is not jumping around. See if I can get closer to that. Okay. The whole Washington Street is a historical center. This town was developed back in 1840, was it, Anita? It's an old town, and just a very pleasant little village of about 10,000 people right now. So we're going to go back downtown, see some of the sights there, have lunch, go on business, and then be on our way. I'll take some more of the bridge. The cross-tie construction, or cross-hatch construction. Back up now. The bridge is about 120 feet long, and in here there's graffiti that fools names in their faces I've always seen in public places. We'll close off now and be on our way to the next. This is the infinity room of the house on the rock, and this is the point that goes out over the valley, 200 feet below. It was about 212 feet from the base.
Good and bad.
This is the view from the infinity room up to the south of the valley. Infinity room, going back towards the main part. The house on the rock. A lot of rooms with different plants, musical instruments, and other assorted objects of art. Okay, there's the rocker which bubbled up before, out to the end of the 200-foot span that's cantilevered out over the valley. This is the roof of it. To give you some perspective of how far out that is. Pan over to the where I'm going to hold the light in there. I hope that this is going to come out. It's kind of cloudy today. This is a beautiful day. This is an ornamental planter. There's a bunch of these around the yard and down the driveway back to the main highway. Many of them with dragons on them. This gentleman was influenced very heavily by Asian or Eastern influence. And I'm going to pan over here. All through the whole place are stained glass windows. I don't know how anyone could live here. We haven't seen a room yet that looks like it would be habitable. This is in the mill house of the insurance. to show that this is a collection of medieval armor. These are all metal banks. Collection of them that are shown here. Gun collection that is shown here. Blunderbusses. There's another shot of the banks. There's armor from another angle. Hopefully that this will show up.
I might have to get closer to me.
There's a collection of dolls in this room. Ancient buggies. I need to know if there's anything.
Over here, there's one that they made a family of dolls from a pig. See?
What do they call themselves?
Fabergé?
Fabergé.
I'm not sure they're Fabergé, but they're...
Whatever.
I don't think they're Fabergé, but they're... No, I know they're not Fabergé, but they're pretty.
Interesting concepts of them. Okay, this is the one where they call the streets of New York or whatever, these bunch of plots and plot paper. And here, like the sheriff's office there. And this is the street. China shop. Apothecary. Some of the silver.
Would you like to be the one that had the polish on it all the time?
No way. You know, with all the copper.
That's gold.
And is that gold on it? Oh, okay. I thought it was copper. Yeah, you're right. It is gold. What are those little
Demi-task
demi-task cups? Interesting place to be. wrestling with a giant squid. And all on these 3 stories are different ship replicas and stories of different ships, the Titanic, the Lusitania. Rather interesting things that they put together here. This is their transportation show that is presently under construction. Sign saying this is the first time they've opened up an area to the public and something is underway. So you see the old Ford down there and the other horseless carriages, the white hearse, the horse-drawn carriages, all kinds of things. Signs. This is another angle of all of the cars that are going to be part of the display. This one in front of us is called the Tile Car. Tell me about it. Art Donaldson's personal collection. Art Donaldson has been in race now. In 1963, Lincoln had one of the suicide race. Owned by Deadlift Sports, who's a retired professional plate spinner known as the single theatrical name of Alcetti. So that's where the name Alcetti on the front station is. It says here that the tile was so heavy it was necessary to cover the body with armor plate and put up overload springs and shock absorbers. Let's see if we can read the I think it's kind of an interesting concept, why the guy would bother to do it, I don't know. Traded off for $10,000 worth of toy creams and 2 carousel on there. This is a carousel, largest in the world, 20,000 lights on it. It's an indoor location. And then we done, look up there. my guy just dropped the battery, so we're checking to see if it worked. And I'll show the front of the place, the entrance to the rock. And here's another one of these planters that are all about here with their dragons on them. A lot of Oriental influence around here. So we've gone through the tour. It's taken us almost 4 hours. We're going to be going on this boat, the Island Princess, today on the tour of the islands, Apostle Islands as they're called. There's really more than 12, so I don't know how many houses they figured there were. This is the harbor with all these sailboats. There is a regatta kind of field going on today, so all of these boat owners are down here getting ready to sail out. If it had been yesterday, they wouldn't have done anything because there was a dead calm. The town is built on a hill, so that you can see here elevation going up, homes that are built up higher. This becomes the harbor, inner harbor with the breakwater that protects the docks where all of these boat owners have their craft tied up. Going towards this east, we can meet some sun. 9:25 a.m. Yes, ma'am.
Look at that one.
Up a little closer to it. Skull and crossbones. It's an interesting ship. Looks like an old. This is looking out towards Madeline Island, which is just a few miles, maybe 3 miles offshore, but it's the largest of the Apostle Islands. The only one that's inhabited. We'll probably be going over here later today by ferry just to walk around and see the place. We're looking back down the main street that leads directly to the wharf area. Population of this town is about 2,000. You see a number of sailboats out here right now. They're getting ready to start a race. Really, the only races for the rest of the week. Well, that's what I have no idea. But I'll be taking a shot at this. Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard the boat. We'll be back for a while. Something a little bit unusual going on our last sailboats out here during the trip. My name is Dave, and I'll be your captain today, doing the narration. Our deckhands on the boat, on the lower deck, first of all, is Bob. Here on the upper deck, right now, is Denise. And you'll keep your eyes on the proper use of a life jacket. The way we want you to do that is to unwind the black strap that is wrapped around the life jacket. Open it up a little bit. Place your head through the hole at the top of the jacket, letting the bulk of it fall down in front of it. Found in Great Britain, that was a little bit harder. But of course that was halfway around the world, so our stone here was very popular for builders to use. This was especially so back in the late 1800s, during a time just after the Great Chicago Fire and the Peshtigo Fire in Wisconsin, in which entire cities were destroyed in one fiery event. The city planners, when they were rebuilding these cities, wisely decided that they'd use a material that was a little bit less flammable than wood. And sandstone was locally available and reasonably priced and a very suitable material, so they used quite a bit of it. And the stone up here, with the quality of it, its quality is based on the hardness and the uniformity and color and texture of the stone. This stone, being so good, was quarried pretty extensively along here. They had no use for these, so they left them behind. If you look right into the water just in front of where the quarry is, you may be able to make out the shadow of the old dock. It's just about 15 feet or so out into the water. It's only about 3 feet under the water. This particular quarry was owned and operated by a man named Frederick Plant, who had a business back to the East Coast, and decided at some point in life he wanted to come here, married for the last time, as a
they built a large 3-story lodge right out on this point of land just off where I left here. It's called the Cedarburg Lodge, very beautiful, elegant building. Out here, in the middle of the woods. He brought his new bride out here, and she was less than impressed with it, however. A couple of reasons for that, one of which would have been the fact that the quarry was operating at that time, and there were 100 or so women very often, which is another of the reasons she probably didn't enjoy it. She was an 18-year-old socialite from New York City, and apparently had no kind of appreciation for the wilds of northern Wisconsin. Refused to spend so much as a single night out here. Actually left on the same boat that brought her out. Mr. Prentice also left then, and never occupied the building, but did pretty use of his friends and for other people who happened to stop by out here. The building stood until the 1930s, when it was intentionally burned down. It had become somewhat rickety and kind of a danger to people who went poking in there, so the useful items from the building were salvaged, including the large stone fireplace, which was dismantled piece by piece and moved into a private residence in Bayfield, where it remains today. They're coming down from the land level of the island down into there. In fact, the ladder just kind of fell apart in the last few years.
Okay, here we are. We've arrived at Big Bay Pointe Lighthouse, and we're in the lighthouse, and Jerry is saying Heidi, and that's Lake Superior behind her. It is Superior, isn't it?
Point up there, that's where we were before.
I'm going to point to the top.
You want me to go up?
There's the hatch that goes up there, and we'll take some pictures from up there in just a minute. But this is the landing that we're walking on now that you can walk all the way around.
Let's see if I open the door.
I'm going to pan through here, give it a little description. This lighthouse has been here since 1896, so it's celebrating its 100th birthday this year. That's the Foghorn building, no longer in use, but it has the original lamps of the lighthouse. We'll look at that later. We just arrived here about 20 minutes ago. Haven't even brought our luggage in. We wanted to see this place. And it is really keen. Looking out northern Michigan. Just panning. Give you an idea of the height. There's the parking lot with our car.
We'll find out how tall this is later.
Yeah, we haven't found out the height of it yet. I'm going to pause and go around the other side. Here's the continuation on the east side of the point. In the southeast, actually, looking out over the lake. It goes on for a bunch. And when we look down here at the rocks, the water is so clear. In fact, this originally was used as drinking water by the lightkeepers in the early terms of the life of this as a lighthouse when it was operating. With the, what was it, onto the
To that, whatever that
pump house there or whatever, yeah.
Now this is supposed to be the Foghorn.
Yeah, the Foghorn.
Yeah, right.
But there's no Foghorn in it anymore.
This building, just so that we know, and here's Jerry again. This building, here's one of the turrets that you can look out in bad weather, or if you don't like open heights. Has been in continuous operation. It's automatically controlled now by the coast. It's operated by the Coast Guard and operated automatically with light sensors and the like. We don't know what this building is below us right now. We'll find out. Hey, there's Jim down there on the ground. Jim, do you know what the height of this is? Did you read? From the bottom to the top, all the way. Well, that's good. So, where are you headed? Over to the Foghorn building?
I don't know where I'm headed, Bob. Just gonna go.
Walk around. Because there's some steps over there that you can get down to the water.
We'll go there.
We'll go over there in a bit. But I brought you a beer up here. You want me to throw it down to you? You catch it gently. Okay, well, if you catch it gently, it shouldn't foam. Okay.
You want us to go so the sun's at our back?
Yeah, that would be well. I'm recording now. We switched so that we'd have the light behind me and let them
In our eyes.
Yeah.
and in their eyes. Well, do you want to walk over into the shade, or
No, this is
I'll
fine.
just follow you there?
Okay.
Are you guys having a good time?
It's cool on the other
Yeah,
side.
It is cool
I
on
want to go back up there.
Okay, well, we'll do that in a minute, and then we'll take some pictures from up there.
Okay.
And the
It's hard
inside.
to carry up there.
Everything is hard to carry up there. Okay, so, Gold Patiscan, are you enjoying?
Yeah,
man.
this is the most unusual place I've ever slept.
This, and you haven't done that yet, so
We'll have
say that tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have to take pictures of our room.
Yeah, we will for a fact. So at any rate, this is our arrival at Big Bay. You just don't happen to drop in here. You got to want to come here because it's too far out of the way to do
Roads get
otherwise.
smaller.
We'll see that from the outside walk around, crow's nest, I guess you'd call it. This is the inside of the lighthouse with the lamp. As you can see, it's electrically controlled. And there's the stairwell coming up into the control house itself with a stool there for anybody that is going to be up here operating it. Otherwise, from around here, you can see that there's a railed walk that goes all around it. And that's where I'm standing. On the other side of the trees, there is another inlet of the lake, and as we drove up from Marquette, you could see that people had permanent and lake homes there, as they do along the road coming in here. We ended up from a 2-lane Tarvia road to a dirt road to get here, so again, it's not a place where you just drop in. You have to be coming here to get here. We just talked to the owner of the place because, of course, now this is a bed and breakfast, has been for about 10 years. He said that the height from the ground to the top of the light is 120 feet. And the ground is about 60 feet above the lake level. The way that this was built is that the innkeeper and his family stayed on one side of the tower, and the innkeeper's helper, or the lighthouse keeper's helper and his family stayed on the other side. They had identical quarters. Now all of it has been made into bed and breakfast, and you see 1896 on the capstone there. And then we go on up to the light. Our suite is on the second floor there, the window furthest to the left. It's called the Sunrise Suite Room South. Jerry and Jim are on the backside overlooking the woods. Now from here we're just going to pan the building and turn off the camera. We're going to go on down to the Foghorn House. Here's a sign that tells about the Foghorn building. Steam engine was used to operate the horn. It could be heard for many miles. I think this is part of it. This is where the movie Anatomy of a Murder was filmed, so part of this. See, the path has been cut through here that Jerry and Jim and Anita are following. Haven't the slightest idea where it's going, probably on the other side of those woods. So I guess I'll go along after them and see what's happening, and don't want to miss a thing. Right now we're having just a real fine time, so we'll continue on with it. I don't know how to, but I need to record. Hopefully I'm catching the little baby close to the rocks. Mom and Dad are hanging in there to make sure that there's no problems that come about. Here's Jerry and Anita looking for some birch bark that they can make a canoe that they can cross Lake Superior and race me to Sault Ste. Marie. Kind of across here.
These are kind of rough, aren't they?
The rocks or the?
Yeah. I mean, they're not real smooth. They're smooth, but they're not hard like the other ones.
Yeah. Well, are you going to pick up one to take for your collection?
Here's a nice one.
We just caught sight of this piece of driftwood on the point where the birch tree is leaning out. I thought it was kind of an unusual gathering of wood. The whole beach here is lined with driftwood that is really unusual in its characters. This is from the train filming towards into the bottom of the Agawa Canyon or Agawa, which is where we're going. I'll try to get some pictures not only down there. I'm going to try something here just to get this sensation of how fast we're going downhill towards the canyon. I don't know if this is how this will show up, but it's an interesting concept. Let's see if I can pan up here to see where our train in front of it is. Here's some more of the canyon looking back. We're down there on this side. Okay, here's the creek. We're coming into this is the canyon where you can see if we can find Beaver Falls as we go along here. I don't see a walking trail on the other side, to tell you the truth, but it's probably there. This is coming along. Oh, okay, this is a nice little lagoon of this river, the Agawa River, coursing through the canyon. This is Bridledale Falls that we're filming right now. We'll be walking back up. There's the Agawa or Agawa River flowing through the canyon. We'll pan up here a little past the sun. The canyon walls rise to a height of 575 feet from the base. There's a platform with some people. It's one of the hikes that you can get up to get a better view. We're going down towards Bridledale and Beaver Falls, so we'll be back in a bit. Car number 9. We're at the tag end. Well, there's 11 cars on the train. But on the way back, our car will be the third one from the front. Recording Black Beaver Fall right here. Pan up to get a better look at the amount of water running through. We may be able to get another shot on the way back, blowing the mosquito away. But I thought I'd take this just in case. Jerry and Jim up there on the trail to the falls. Anita's lagging behind. She keeps checking everything.
Looking for a rock.
She's looking for a rock. That's the usual thing that she does. Over there is Bridledale Falls. I didn't record it. I tried to get 575 feet to the top of this cliff. There you go. There's Bridledale Falls, starting at the river, the lower falls. And we're going up. It's been fairly dark here, so now as impressive as it might be, but it's still a few falls. The end in here, walking back to the train, keep going back to Cedarburg. Not too many falls that have a sign-in register so that know where its visitors came from. But here we have one. Jerry's signing in after I've been in for Anita myself. Southwest Beaver Falls. This is the one that we took a picture of a while ago, and now I got to pan back to a shot of it. Again, it's not all that wet right now. But we're getting some shots. That's nice little falls. Just coming back from seeing the falls and coaching our train as everybody's getting ready to reboard, that we can head back to Cedarburg. Back up here. And he is pointing out that this is the National Bear, it's the National Bear of Agawa Central Railway. And then as I pan over here to the second engine, this is a pretty big old thing, it's got about 3,300 horsepower each. We'll catch Jerry and Jim reading about where they are. Okay, take this shot of the train as it's coming around the trestle. Cars. It's 8:22 Eastern Time. We're standing on the north shore of Lake Michigan at the little town of Manistique. That's the Manistique Lighthouse. There are hundreds of lighthouses out here. We're going to be walking out there. Jerry and Jim and Anita are down the boardwalk here. They're just behind that growth right there. So I'm going to walk out after them. Been beautiful weather. Rained last night. And now the sun is coming on as we head towards Door County, Wisconsin. First we're going to stop at another location that's an abandoned town here in Michigan, about 30 miles down the road, so we'll be leaving here shortly. Take another shot from another angle. There's people. That's Jerry walking out to the... There she is, I'm sorry. Jerry walking out. I'm going to pull back a little bit to get the full effect. And there's the lighthouse again. Some other people who've been out there are walking back. And Jerry and Anita walking out towards the long breakwater. Now you can get pictures of it. Jerry's got a collection of lighthouses that she's really anxious to put together. One last shot of the lighthouse from another angle with this full sun.
What is this?
Use sun on it.
Manistique?
This is the lighthouse at Manistique, Michigan. No, Manistique. Yeah. I don't know what.
Where are we?
Yeah. I have no idea how tall this is. We'll have to find out from some of the local information. How tall a lighthouse would that be? About 65 feet?
I really don't know. I would say,
It's about the same height as the one at Big Bay.
yeah.
Plus there, it's 60 feet above, so it's 120 feet above the lake shore.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
And we're interfering with the seagulls.
Yeah. I'll look at
Because we're standing on the part of it that the seagulls enjoy. There's James, and you can see he's walking where the seagulls walk. This is the town of Fayette, which was established in the late 1800s, about 1860, when the iron ore was found in this area. And this town was established in order to make the iron ore and haul it off to by boat or by train to the steel mills. It's abandoned now. It's now a state park. These are just some of the buildings. I'll get to some specific ones now.
And the company
This is the
officials would come and stay.
hotel where the company officials would come down from Escanaba and other towns. Here's one of the company officials coming out the door now after a good night's rest. Office in the superintendent's office and residence. This was a multi-purpose building that had the doctor's office, barbershop, and there's also the office. This is one of the homes for the middle-class workers, the folks that were technicians rather than just the common laborers who lived around the bend in less sumptuous surroundings. These homes rented for $5 a month. The workers earn between $600 and $1,200 a year. I'll show this in a moment. From this point, this is how the street looked. And all the houses there. We'll shine down from here, or pan down, show the residences that are standing, plus the foundations for two of them, and go on down to the hotel. This is the doctor's residence. He had one of the fanciest plates in town, apparently. Go around to the other side to the upstairs. This is the superintendent's house, sometimes called a White House.
Moving the library.
And said most things happen in the homes. Wedding receptions, funerals, other activities. And he had a view of the harbor where the iron ore boats come in like this. View of the whole lot. This is the whole reason for the being of this place. It was here that the iron ore was smelted and made into pig iron that was then hauled off to Escanaba and other iron converting mills where all the work was done. But it was abandoned in about 1888. This was the coke oven where they made their own charcoal, which was used for the heat of the to melt the iron ore to get the pig iron. We're in Door County. One of the things here is a fish boil using white fish and potatoes and onions and good things like that. This is the early stages of the fish boil where the water is boiling at a rapid rate. Not even, but I don't think, but the goods haven't been put in here yet. And as we understand, there is a point at which all of this boils over and may even flame up, and then the fish is done. And we have reservations to be in the restaurant here, which is part of the inn. We were going to stay here, but it was filled, so we stayed at another location. And I'm going to turn this off now after panning back down to the fish boil and see how the water is roiling. And we will then turn this back on when they do the pan over here. We're just sitting here having some refreshments after a day of enjoying ourselves. But I'll do another filming of this when the cook tells us that it's ready to boil.
Well, I don't know, we might sell it to the news.
This is our chef, Henry, and at this point, he has, what do you got there, 5W40 motor oil, or?
Fuel oil.
He's got some fuel oil that he's going to put onto the fire, which will cause it to blaze up. Yeah, that's going in the pot for, for some seasoning. Okay. Yeah, it boils up like that because now it comes on over, and that was the oil from the white fish. Yay! Look at that boil over. Great. We'll come right on into it and see that boil over.
Wow, look at that boil.
Henry, you put on a show without peer.
It better taste as good as it looks.
That's not your problem, huh? He just makes the fire.
I'm not worried.
I mean, the idea of
You
eating
got to help her to take out all this stuff, right?
The idea of eating boiled fish is not real exciting to me.
Okay,
Now we're going to back up here and see how they lift these things out without burning themselves to fairly well. Ah, this is it. And there it comes again. Oh, it almost puts the fire out. Okay. And this is what we're going to eat. Well, here we have the remnants of the Last Supper. That is the Last Supper before we leave to return to Dallas. We have our friends Joyce and Dick Hayne here. As you might recognize their faces from prior movies and pictures.
We have you on our wedding.
We have you on our wedding.
We look a little different, though.
Don't we all?
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, my.
We have become just slightly older, is it? How do I say that?
Slightly older.
well, just tell us briefly, what have you been doing since you graduated from high school?
Well, not much, and I don't start till noon.
Whatever it takes. You better be done by 1 so you can rest.
With at least 45-minute lunch.
Yes. Well, it's our pleasure to be in your company. And did he tell you what a great golf game he played?
Yeah.
He beat us all by 14 strokes.
So great, and you did so well.
Oh, yes.
You're joining the ranks of the pros.